This is the live 5x5 GA4 data. Fundamentally, it still exists under analytics.google.com. There's some configuration that needs to be done if you haven't already done that. So we're looking at the home screen here. Talk us through this, Matt.
Yeah, so the home screen it's pretty much a top view of your website. So I think for most people, just popping into this home screen would be more than enough. You can see the total amount of users that landed on the website, how many conversions you're getting, the total number of events that are being tracked as well, and how many of those users were like first-time visitors as well. And then to the right there, you also just have the sort of live updated figure. So in the last 30 minutes, we had 4 people on the 5x5 website.
So some pretty cool stuff here where there's a whole bunch of AI that's now built into this, and you can see these little insights here. There's a whole bunch of suggestions here. This is interesting. On what days do I get the most users to the website? Top days of the week is Thursday.
Who would have thought?
Interesting. Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Google Analytics is super cool in that you can pretty much ask it what you want to show you, and it will do exactly that. So yeah, like that organic users in August. So say you want to track how many people came in through Google, or if your SEO efforts are working, just ask it and it will be able to tell you. No more going through and manually finding that data, just ask it and you should.
Yeah, it's quite intuitive, the search, considering like it is a search engine, right? So they know how to build a search engine.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you can interact with it. So it's sort of like sending more signals of the data that you want to then inform the information that it displays. And you've got, your recently accessed different reports, suggestions
so
in and around.
You often look something up in those insights and stuff like that, these suggested ones might update. So it's fairly intuitive in that your home screen should also update with it. So the pages you want to see will typically be there.
Then we get into reports, and this is where the sort of meat of it comes into play. We spoke about the real-time analytics, so we can see 3 or 4 users on the website right now. And if I sort of scroll out, we can sort of see where it looks like most of those people are actually at the Gold Coast, interestingly. Locals. So that's what I sort of zoomed in. Yes.
But yeah, you can track that at any time too. So if you notice you're getting a lot of conversions at midnight or something, you can pop on at midnight, see where they're coming from, what's going on.
So real-time data is just sort of interesting as stuff is evolving.
Absolutely. Also, say you've just set up a goal and you want to track if it's working, you can set it up and then test it out yourself, see if it's working. It'll real-time update the metrics instead of having to wait 12 hours like Universal Analytics did. There
was a big lag there, wasn't there? Massive, and it was really hard. So someone from Sydney's just jumped on and you see the page refreshed, which is pretty cool. So that's the real-time side of things. Let's look at acquisition. What is the definition of an acquisition, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's fairly self-explanatory in that it's pretty much where you're acquiring your traffic.
Yep.
It's broken down into users and new users. So users is obviously everyone on the site. New users is first-time visitors. And again, there you've just got the quick figures as well. So users in the last 30 minutes and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then, so both user acquisition and traffic acquisition will break down all the different traffic sources like organic, paid search and stuff like that.
And I was quizzing you this morning. I'm like, what one do you use? And you tend to favor the traffic acquisition because you're in the traffic game, Matt.
Traffic is the name of the game. Obviously, user acquisition is really cool for finding sort of specific users. So if you're finding a lot of people are visiting one time, but they're not returning, you might be going into that one. But traffic acquisition is a better oversight of your overall campaign, I think. Yeah.
And then let's actually go through some of the different traffic sources and we'll just sort of define these because this is something we get asked a lot when we're sort of unpacking analytics through a website. Start at the top. What's direct?
Direct is anyone who already has the URL to your website. So they'll be coming through, maybe they have it bookmarked or something like that, straight opening and into the site like that. So that's direct. Under that, we have organic. Obviously, that is everything Google, Bing, search engine related. Cross network is an interesting one. And that's one that we get asked quite a bit. So
that's a new addition, isn't it? Like that wasn't in Universal, was it?
No, it's fairly new, and it's also a little bit confusing. I think even if you look up Google's own definition, they really make it quite vague. which is just like Google to do that, I
Yeah,
guess.
totally.
But, pretty much, yeah, it's anyone using multiple networks to visit your website. So you might have display ads and things like that, or you might have direct visitors. So they're all sort of lumped together into that one. It's a good way to see if you're using like a retargeting ad to make sure that that's working, that they're coming back to your website the way you want them to.
And that's sort of the nature of digital marketing now, is that there's so many different touch points that
that's it. Yeah. And people shop around. People visit your website and come back, learn that they like your product the best. So
cool.
And then paid social, obviously Meta ads, so Instagram and Facebook ads, stuff like that. Paid search, Google ads, or your PPC. Referral, that is backlinks. So any website that links through to yours will come through that traffic channel. And then organic social, obviously your social page display is pretty much like the retargeting ads. So you might have an ad listed on the side of a website or news site, something like that. That's that one. Now this is another one we get asked a lot, that unassigned one, and that's pretty much Google can't figure it out. So it'll typically be really low, but it could be anyone with like mega privacy settings, some sort of weird browser that they're using to get through.
It's the DuckDuckGoes or whatever of the world.
The Tor browsers, things like that. Yeah,
nice.
And then email. Email, pretty self-explanatory there.
Cool. So they're the traffic acquisition. Let's get into engagement. So this is more around, as the name implies, how people are engaging with the website. So same deal, overview page, which is all pretty self-explanatory. Anything? I'll just point out, like you obviously you've got all your date filtering. So you've got this, this customization here where you can see 28 days, and then what we can compare is, 28 days compared to the previous 28 days.
It's good.
So that's
it's really smart. It'll match up the days of the week. So if you have more weekdays through 1 month, it'll match it up to the weekdays the month prior, so you can get a more accurate month-on-month result.
Talk about events, mate.
Everything someone could do on a website. So like you can see their video progress. So someone's started a video and continued watching it, so they haven't just seen it start and pause and close it straight away. Page view is anything from, if you've landed on a page, looked at it. User engagement, something that they are doing on their session start, the start of a session. So obviously you'll have people returning and stuff like that. Video start, video complete. So those are obviously either end of the video progress. And then we have the other ones, which are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, we didn't set these up. Like these just automatically appeared. So that's where you can be really intentional, where it's like, well, how many people are actually watching our, video on the homepage and getting through to the end of it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you were mentioning this morning around how that ties into conversions.
Any one of those events you can set up as a conversion. So all you need to do is go into the settings and tick, yes, I want this as a conversion, and it will track it and add to that conversion rate. And we obviously have the inquiry forms and things like that set up, as well as people calling or doing their digital quiz. Those are all events that were sort of set up, and we've tagged to say, yes, we're really interested in this and we want to track how many we're getting. What's really neat about the conversions in this too is, say you don't have a service necessarily, maybe you're just running a blog. Obviously, you're not super concerned about people hitting contact us or filling out a form. Maybe you want your conversion to be people finishing your blogs. You can tag that as a conversion and say, hey, 80% of my blogs, people are actually reading all the way to the end. I'm hitting my targets for the month.
Yeah, I love that. So it basically any event can be a conversion. It's however you deem that
exactly right.
to be success in your life. Pages and screens. So this is a list of all the pages and their total views and users.
You'll see there that views and users, obviously we have more views. That means that users are using pages more than once. So they're taking a look at it. So 2,601 people viewed that page, altogether a little bit over 7,000 times.
Interesting. Yeah, which gives then that views per user metric. Exactly. We've got an average engagement time on that page, which is really helpful as well. So that's cool. Like our briefing form, which is actually quite a lengthy form, you can see on average, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is actually a pretty long time when it comes to sticking on one page. Same deal with the event count. Okay, so this is interesting. Our work, so we're a digital agency designing and building websites. The second most popular page is our portfolio page, which is our work. And then you can see just the event count is through the roof, because there must be people like clicking back and forward, clicking out.
That's
to
right.
view examples of the work.
You might have a page with like accordions or FAQs that people can interact with, and all of those are clicks and events. So it'll be right up there.
Cool. And then you can see the conversion. So where are actually people converting from as well? So homepage makes sense, and I'd say that'd be attributed to the phone calls. They're specifically on the homepage, and then same deal on the contact page. That's right. As well. We haven't assigned, revenue metrics to this, but you can do that as well, because it's probably more applicable to, say, e-commerce stuff or whatever. The average sale value is X or whatever, and that's where you can then
maybe fixed prices on certain services that might be more relevant to you.
Landing pages, as the name implies, where basically people are coming in.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the homepage is almost always going to be at the top for most people, I would say, except unless you have those sort of blogs, like you were saying earlier, John, where you might just have this massive traffic driving blog to the website that is generating way more clicks than the homepage itself. Yeah.
So this is a new page that we've set up in and around SEO, and we can see that people are landing on it and coming in as the first page and their first experience with our website. Same deal with digital marketing, web development, about. Like typically you'll see, about is in the mix somewhere. That's a very frequented page as well. Then we've got user attributes. So this is super interesting, where we can find out more information about the people that are actually coming through to the site. So obviously via country, it's the real-time data. Let me go into the audience report here, which is we'll just provide a little bit more detail. Actually, no, sorry, I want demographic details here.
So this is where we would find all that data, like in the example before, where if it were me, male age between 25 and 30 on the Gold Coast using Android OS, it's all under user attributes here. You can see where I'm from, how long I spent on the page, and what I looked at essentially.
Yeah, let's have a look actually. So I'm just keen to understand the split. Okay, so 55% females for us, 44% technology, technophiles is the biggest category there. And like obviously we work across a wide range of industries. So this is essentially what Google knows about you as an individual and your how you navigate.
Cooking blog, it would say foodies, things like that.
Yep. And then the age, that's interesting as well. I thought that might have been a little bit higher.
And what's great is that, this is updated pretty much like almost instantly. So you'll be able to see every day if you upload a new post that you think will target a different audience, you'll be able to see if you're hitting those goals.
And then tech. This is super interesting. Obviously, we're in the game of building websites. So you can see the different operating systems that people are using. So you can see Windows is the big majority here, and then iOS, Mac, Android, a split between desktop and mobile. So you can still see obviously we're sort of B2B, which means that there's a bunch of people still on desktop, but mobile has definitely grown over the years for us, and then sort of tablet 4.2%.
A lot of service-based business have nearly 80% mobile now.
Super interesting around screen resolution as well. So you can see the vast majority, and obviously that ties to their desktop, but this is the screen size that people are looking at. So it makes sense if the vast majority of people are on a specific resolution, that you go and test your site on that resolution and make sure the experience is a good one.
That's right. Make sure you have that box fit so no one can just scroll along the page.
Yeah, totally. And then I think that's just a rehash of all this information here. So that's just a bit more detail. And then, you can see where the conversions are coming from as well.